We love food colored green, bell peppers and long string beans, pickles, celery, cucumbers too. All these foods are good for you.
Welcome to Storytime Cooks, where we learn about food through books. Today we're going to be reading Fancy Nancy, Apples Galore. This is by Jane O'Connor and illustrated by Robin Prius Glasser and Ted Ennick. And Fancy Nancy is a pretty fun story, so I thought this one might be one that we could enjoy as we learn about apples. I adore autumn. And the first day of autumn is right here. Autumn is a fancy word for fall. The air is so crisp and the foliage is so colorful. We really don't have pretty colored leaves yet, but it won't be long until we'll see lots of different colors. Foliage means the leaves on the trees. Sometimes Nancy uses big words to talk about things that we are just thinking about in our everyday world. So that's a fun thing to learn about in Fancy Nancy stories. Ooh la la, today our class is going on a trip. We are going to go on an apple picking field trip. I hope we pick Gala apples, and that's what kind this one is, and it's one of my favorites. They're kind of yellow and red mixed. My dad likes them best, and I tell Lionel, he's my trip buddy. Gala is a fancy party, so Gala apples must be fancy. Lionel does not answer. He covers his mouth and he gags. Is he car sick? Mrs. Glass shouts, "Stop the bus." Then Lionel laughs and says, "It was just a joke." Ms. Glass is not happy with Lionel. She often has to fuss at Lionel because sometimes he does things that really are not really good. At last we arrive at the orchard, and an orchard is a garden of trees. Each tree is loaded with apples. There are apples galore. Everyone gets a basket. Remember, do not climb on the branches, Miss Glass said. There are lots of apples near the ground. Why do you think Miss Glass might not want the kids to climb out on the branches? Anybody have any ideas? I pick lots of apples. Lionel juggles apples. He's an expert juggler. And then all of a sudden he stops. He drops the apples and runs around in a circle. Ow! Bees are stinging me. Mrs. Glass dashes over. That means she hurries to us. And Lionel laughs and says, "I was just joking." That is not a funny joke, Mrs. Glass tells him. She reprimands Lionel some more. He is just not having a very good day, is he? After that, Lionel behaves himself. We pick apples, apples galore. We pick Jonathan apples. We pick Honeycrisp apples. We do not find a tree with Gala apples. Well, let's look over there, Lionel says, and he dashes off. I don't think we should go so far away, but trip buddies must stay together. So I dash after Lionel. There are Gala apple trees. There is one problem. The apples are up high on the branches. And remember what Mrs. Glass said? Do not climb out on the branches. Pick the apples that are near the ground. A ladder is by another tree, but Lionel will not help me get it. He just starts climbing up the tree. Mrs. Glass told us not to, I remind him. But does Lionel listen? If you say no, you are right. And up, up, up he goes. And you can see him in the very top of the tree. Lionel is way out on a branch. There are so many apples, Gala apples galore. Lionel shakes the branches, but the apples do not drop. So he crawls out farther. Be careful, I say. There is a crackling sound. Oh no, what do you think that might mean? Is the branch breaking? Help, help, Lionel yells. Help, help, I yell too. kids nearby look over and laugh. They think it's just a joke. Because remember, he was joking about getting sick, and he joked about the bees, so when he really is in a problem, they don't believe him. Mrs. Glass does not hear us. She's too far away. Can you jump, Lionel? I ask. It's too far down, he says. Then I remember the ladder. I dash over and drag it back. It is so heavy, I perspire a lot. That's just a fancy name for sweat. Mrs. Glass is at the tree now, and she sees that this is no joke. Together we stand up the ladder. And Lionel climbs down to safety. Crack! The branch breaks, and down come the apples. He just got done in the nick of time. Mrs. Glass is very mad at Lionel. He cannot go on the hayride, and he cannot help make applesauce. Sometimes when we do things we're not supposed to do, we don't get to do other fun things that we want to do. So I bet Lionel really wanted to go on the hayride, and I really bet he wanted to make applesauce. On the ride back, I say, "Thank you for the Gala apples." I save some applesauce for Lionel, and he slurps it down and burps. What a goofball. Then we each eat a Gala apple. They do not look fancy, but they are very tasty. That's a fancy word for yummy. There are plenty left for Dad. Gala apples galore. So we learned some lessons in this story. We learned that we can't tell things that aren't true, because then when something is true, people might not believe us. And we learned that Gala apples are really yummy. And even though Gala means a fancy party, they're just plain old apples. And so this apple is a pink lady apple, and it's kind of pinkish. This one is a Honeycrisp apple, or a Gala apple, I'm sorry. I've already sliced this in half because we're going to do something fun with it. So in our story, our children did lots of laughing and playing. They had a really good time. So we're going to make something that we've made before, but it's been a while, and it's one of my favorite apple treats. We're going to make an apple smile. So we've taken our red apple, and it makes really good lips. And we're going to spread a little bit of peanut butter in here. And then we're going to take some of these marshmallows, and these are going to be our teeth. And then we can spread some more peanut butter on this side of our lip, and then our mouth will stay together. Apples are good for us. Sometimes we hear the saying, "An apple a day will keep the doctor away." And that might be true, but it also is just fun to eat. Another thing we can do to make our apples look fancy, because, Fancy Nancy would really want her apples to be fancy apples, not just plain apples. We are going to just sprinkle our apples with some cinnamon. And not only does that make it look a little bit fancier, they taste really yummy, more like apple pie. So if you want to make your apple treats even more delicious, sprinkle them with a little cinnamon or make a fun apple smile, and you can enjoy apples not just in the fall during apple season or autumn, as we learned in the story, but all year round. Thank you for joining us for Storytime Cooks, and we hope you'll come back again next week as we continue to learn about food through books.
We love food colored green, bell peppers and long string beans, pickles, celery, cucumbers too. All these foods are good for you.